We are excited about the elaboration room.
I am excited about this.
Welcome to the Elaboration Room with Reverend Yo and Reverend Harris.
Goodness.
John always happens. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us once again in the Elaboration Room with two sisters of one. As you can see, tonight we have some very special guests with us. Yes, we are celebrating new mothers for this Mother's Day that is coming up. So today we have two wonderful guests that will be joining us today just to inform us how it is to be a new mom. I was a new mom 37 years ago, so I can't even tell you what it is to be a new mom today. So we invited two new moms to give you that. So we have something special for you tonight, and I'm going to throw it over in Sissy's court for her to do the next part.
And as always, we thank you for your continued support. Don't ever think that we are taking you for granted. We thank you for your support. And we do encourage you to send us topics that you would like us to speak on. We are open to it. And we do hope that you are enjoying the episodes we have already put forth.
Yes.
As we are in our area moving towards 200 episodes.
Oh, we almost there, sis. We
almost there. So, yes, I am excited because the lady before you, Miss Melanie Ennis, made me a grandmother. So I am so excited to have her as a part of this episode, and we're gonna just roll with it. And Miss Reverend Yo is going to introduce our other mother.
Yes, our other mother is Miss Renita Martin. Miss Renita is a longtime friend of mine. I actually met Miss Renita's husband before I actually met her. I know that they are going to be great parents. She is an educator, has been an educator for years. So you already know she loved the babies. She's been an educator. She teaches at the elementary level, and she is actually just when you see her classroom, when she posts her classroom, you just know the kids are in for the best year that they're going to get. She is dedicated to her children. She is dedicated to educating our children to make sure they are receiving the education that they need, that many of our children may not receive at home. But you can rest one thing for sure. If they step into Miss Renita Martin's class, they are coming out educated. So that's where we're going with that, Mom, today. And we are going to just kick off, ladies, with a simple question. Miss Renita, you can start the question, this question. And we basically just want to know, and for the new mothers that are out there or the new mothers that are to be, we're just basically giving them some new mother advice. Coming from us old heads that had our babies, 30 plus years ago, they'd be like, that was then. Well, this is now. So we want them to understand, how some things are going for a new mom, especially a new working mom. So they can know you can balance life and work. It just takes a little bit more. So one of our first questions that we would like to ask you tonight is, what has been the most surprising emotional change you've experienced since becoming a new mom?
Wow, that's for the first question. That's heavy for sure. I think I come at it from a different lens because I entered motherhood through foster care, and now we're moving towards adoption. And so it's been one of the most eye-opening experiences really of my entire life. Not necessarily something that I planned on doing, but it definitely was God's plan for us. And so I think all of it has been an emotional shift. And what I've learned is that motherhood is not necessarily just defined by biology, it really is, commitment and presence and loving. And at the same time, I'm finding that I'm holding space for all of those things for my daughter, but then I also hold like a deep respect for the fact that my child actually does have another biological mother who is a part of her story. So, one of the biggest emotional shifts for me in general was holding that space and being okay with the fact that this is my daughter, but then I also share my daughter with someone else, right? And I don't know that I expected to have so much empathy and compassion and longing for someone else, and that has probably been the biggest thing that has shocked me. Like, I think I pray for her biological mother probably more these days than I pray for myself, because I know that through her, I became a mother. And for some reason, the burden there is really heavy. So I would think that just the capacity to love and the capacity to have empathy for everyone in a bunch of situations, being able to love and care for a child that, that we weren't necessarily expecting. I just think that that probably has been the biggest emotional shift for me. I'm coming into motherhood somewhat late. I'm 44 years old. And so there's also that component to it because, I definitely have moments where I'm like, I'm 44 years old. Like, I'm real old for this, right? And then there's times where and be honest. And then there's times where I think this is absolutely the perfect time. Like, could not have done it to the capacity that I'm able to do it now in my early years, and I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
rough in them younger years. I ain't gonna even lie to you. It was rough. Rough. Yes, Lord. I ain't gonna even. Oh, Lord. I can have a flashback for any boo. Yeah. I would say,
PTSD.
girl, all of it. I started sweating when she said that.
Started sweating. How old is your daughter?
She is just shy of 6 months old.
Oh, baby, baby.
Yes.
Baby, baby. Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Miss
Well,
Melanie.
Melanie, mother of August.
Yes, yes. um, the biggest surprising emotional shift. It's funny because I'm an emotional person. I am very aware of how I feel. Sometimes I overthink how I feel. It's always kind of like right there for me. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to have a new person around who I have to take care of 24/7. How am I going to how will I make space? I know I have to. My body's making space. My life is making space. How am I going to be able to compartmentalize to focus in on him? And I think every mother's journey is different. But with me, it was just like a switch. It's just like, oh, my little person's here. We've been hanging out for 9 months already. So, like, I kind of feel his energy is still familiar to me. And I'll be okay. I need to focus in on him. And it was just kind of like seamless. And I was worried. I was worried that I would be overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed. I would be worried that I wouldn't be able to handle it. And somehow every day I'm able to handle it with amazing support from my partner, from my parents, from my mom here. Like, everybody has really rallied around me. But I think empathy has grown so much. And I didn't expect that. Like, I knew I'm an empathetic person, but I didn't know how much I would be able to just feel for him and feel for he's a baby, he can't talk, and just he's crying, and I feel him. I feel so bad because he can't. This is how he communicates. You know what I mean? And to just be able to be intuitive and to hone in on him and really look at him in his eyes and think about it comes naturally. And I know, again, every mother's experience is different, but I was surprised at how natural it came to me. I'm the youngest child in my family, so like I didn't really have practice with small babies with children, and so there was some hesitation. I'm 37, about to be 38, and so I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. I'm old, like I think I can do this, and I was very happily surprised that through all the, ups and downs and struggle, what I've never struggled with is being able to be in tune with him, to really understand him before he can even talk. And that's just such a blessing, because I feel like I've also been leveled out emotionally. Like, oh, so these things aren't as urgent anymore. You know what I mean? There's more to my life now. And so things that used to get me hyped up, or things that would make me upset, kind of have dialed back a bit. And I have to think clearer a lot more than I did before. And so I knew that I would have to grow up and be mature, but I didn't realize how quickly that would happen as soon as he came out, and how, I'm making it. We're doing this. We're doing this thing. So,
And he's 9.5 months.
yes, he's 9.5 months.
He's 9.5 months. He's
Yeah,
moving
both
very
of y'all
fast.
got little ones.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
both
so
of y'all
small.
got little ones.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Theresa, I'm just gonna tell on your mother-in-law right now. Every episode I heard about your pregnancy, every episode. She could not wait till that baby got here.
Oh,
Yeah, she was overexcited.
listen,
She
we
was
Oh,
were
how
very,
all
can
very
you be
excited.
excited.
overexcited? I don't
You
think you
were
can be
overexcited.
overexcited.
Yeah, you were.
Huh.
So,
Oh, man.
both of you said something that really, both of you used the word empathy really in both of your replies, and that is something that many mothers stand on, because it is key to really having those feelings that really they're feelings you never know you'll have until you actually have them. I'm gonna tell on myself. So when I had my first daughter, well, my only daughter, because I have one daughter and one son. When I had my daughter, it's like everything does change in your world, because it's no longer about you. You now have this little one that is your key, priority. There, nothing else matters in the world right now but that little one, because I see it as God has gave you this person to take care of. Whether
Mm-hmm.
you're natural or whether you foster, it is still a person that God has given you the moment to take care of. And it was one thing that when my daughter was little, I refused to let her out of my sight. I just refused, because I had my baby in the 80s when people were stealing people babies from the hospital. So it was pretty rough then, because all the stories were coming out where people were going into the hospital taking people's babies, and babies was getting exchanged for other babies. But having that feeling of knowing that you have to really tune in to a little one to really understand what you're saying. You begin to understand the baby talk. You begin to understand the eye movements. You begin to understand the cries. Even cries were different. I knew if a cry was I was hungry. I knew if a cry if I was wet, or I knew the cry that I just wanted you to hold me. So those things are things that you always tune into. So that was just something that perked me in my years, 37 years ago, flashbacks that I had. So Miss Melanie, this question, we're going to start off with you. What is one piece of advice you received that truly helped you into new motherhood?
Well, you know what? My mom, she's amazing, and my dad's amazing too, but my mom is very, very, very amazing. And she told me, that's your baby. And so you do what you have to do for your baby. And remember, don't let anyone run you over. Don't let anybody try to, including me, herself, dictate, what should be going on with him. That's your baby. You're his mom. And to never forget that, and to always protect that. And I think that that is really important, because being a new mother, whether you're 18 or 38, people try to impose their opinions on you before the baby's even gotten here, before they even know if the baby's colicky, or if the baby don't want to sleep, or if whatever. So I just think knowing that and owning it, specifically really owning that, is really important for a mom, because yes, you want to know that that responsibility is yours, but you also have to be his advocate. You also have to be their protector when the dad isn't around. You're their protector, number one. You are the mom. And I just think that new moms need to embrace that even before the baby gets there. It should just protect themselves, protect their process for having the baby, for bringing the baby into their life, protecting that they are really the number one person for that child because you're the mom, and to never forget that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that you used a very good word. And I, as a retired educator and mom of two sons that I birthed, and now we're in a blended family, and I have four sons and now two grandsons. Advocate.
Yes.
You, not just as a new mom, you are that baby's advocate, but be that baby's advocate all along their educational process.
Yep.
You let the parent, I'm giving some advice, definitely, because I would tell my parents the same thing, the parents of my students, because each one of them became my baby. Know the principal and make sure that they know you.
Mm-hmm.
Know the teachers, because quiet as it's kept, some of those teachers aren't there for the right reasons. They seem to think that they're going to get rich on it, and you're not. You need to be there. I always saw it as a ministry, even before I became a minister. Be that baby's advocate, be that child's advocate, that teenager's advocate all along their life's process,
Mm-hmm.
because the world is not nice.
No.
And you know what you know about your child.
Right.
So speak up for your child. I declare that was a great word.
Yep.
Advocate for that baby.
Yeah, she was a young one's teacher too for many years.
Yep.
Many years.
And that's
So Miss Renita.
Um, when I first went back to work after my baby bonding period, one of my colleagues came and checked on me in my cubicle, and she said, how's everything going? How's the baby or whatnot? And I was telling her, and I was like, man, I have like this mom guilt that's like weighing on me because my daughter is at daycare right now while I'm working, and I'm missing I'm here 8 hours. It was a really hard transition for me to go back to work. And the best advice actually came from her in that moment. And she just flat out told me, she was like, mom guilt is a wasted emotion. And she was like, get over it. There really is nothing that you can do about it. You have to work, you have to provide for your daughter. She was like, so what you're doing right now in this moment is the best thing for her. Is you are going out and you are showing her what it is to be a productive member of society and to provide for her family. And at the moment I was like, cuz she was laying into me, and I was like, I'm crying, and you're telling me to get over it. But after a while, I sat with it for a while, and I was like, you know what? I was like, she is right. Yeah, I have that sense of mom guilt, man. Why can't I be with my daughter, 24 hours a day? Why do I have to send her to daycare or whatnot? But at the same time, I'm doing the best thing for her. I'm making sure that she has everything that she needs. I'm making sure that she has a good example in me. She can see me living my own life and having my own career and doing all of those good things. Well, all the things that I want her to do and to be when she grows up. And, I just am taking that mom guilt that I felt, I feel for the 8 hours that I'm at work, and then I just pour that into the time that I do have with her. And it just really taught me to be more intentional in the way that I show up for her every day, and then making sure that I'm continuously building upon the bond that we're creating together and making the connections and stuff like that, and just nurturing her and protecting her. And she's going to be fine when she's with her daycare provider. She's fine every day that I pick her up. Nothing has happened, and we live to see another day. So that is actually the best piece of advice that I've gotten. I've gotten all the, oh, don't do this, don't do that, and I just kind of my mom tells me all the time, like, you're just gonna do it your way, and I'm like, pretty
Yes.
much. You're just going to do it your way pretty much. So all the other things I've kind of like blocked out, but that I hold on to, especially when I'm having those moments where I'm like, oh, I don't want to leave her today. I'm like, oh, nope, you're not going to
Mhm.
go there.
I think that was hard for most of us working moms when we had our little ones. That's hard for anybody that have to, now my child has to be in daycare or with grandparents or whoever and how it goes. But that's the detachment. That's when the detachment started for me when, okay, now you need to get back to work, but now your child has to, be here. But they still turn out to be great humans. I have great children, so they turn out to be great. So this is the last question we have for you ladies. Melanie, Renita, you can start this one. In the middle of caring for your new daughter, yours is a girl, of course. So how are you intentionally caring for yourself in this?
Well, just to piggyback a little bit on what I was talking about before, I think one of the ways that I am taking care of myself was by going back to work. Just because I hold so much pride and purpose in the work that I do. And even though the time that I spent at home with her, was great, I honestly needed to get back to what was somewhat of a normal pace for me.
Mhm.
So going back to work and being able to, be around other kids and be around in the setting that was familiar to me. Because, I mean, you have to realize I literally got a call on Monday. Hey, there's a baby that needs a home. And 3 days later I have a 5-day old, and I never went back to work after that. So there was no like real transition period where I got a chance to know, like, I'm going to be off work. And I just literally called and said I won't be back. I won't be back for a while. Everybody was really understanding about that, but my work is really a big part of who I am, and I take a lot of pride in it. So being able to do that and kind of give that service to others is something that really fills my heart. But also, um, I feel like making sure that I'm still doing a lot of the things that I loved before I became a mother. My husband and I were real big on dating each other before we became parents, and we really struggled with that at the very beginning. And now we're starting to get back to that. Hey, grandma, it's your turn. That kind of thing. Between the two grandmas, they're making it really easy for us to continue with our date nights and stuff like that because they're always willing. So doing the things
Yes, we are.
always, even today, my mom was like, "You don't even have to ask, just show up." I was like, "We can't just show up."
I love it.
But yeah, just really making sure that I remember who I was before I became a mother, and then honoring those things as well, and making sure I take care of myself. At first, it was when you're in those newborn trenches, no one really prepared me for that. It's like I am going to comb my hair today.
Yep.
Or like wash my face for longer than 30 seconds.
Right.
Like those kinds of things. And those are real things. And I had to learn, like, okay, she could sit with her dad, for 30, 45 minutes
Yep.
while you take a real shower,
Right.
or like those things where I had to learn, you know and I think those things, now that I have, like, okay, I'm going to take a shower, I'm going to take care of myself, I'm going to the nail salon, I'm going to get my massage and all of those things, because that's what I need to kind of feel better about myself, and then I keep going,
Right.
that way. So just making sure that you're really holding a firm grasp to who you were before you became a mother.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Exactly. Melanie.
Um, so I would say I've been a stay-at-home mom with August since he was about 5 months old. And I was on maternity leave, and then I went back to work, and then I got laid off about 3 months after I got back, and that was hard. And so I during maternity leave, I was like locked in on my baby. And then I was like, I'm going back to work. What am I going to do? And then I got back to work, and then I got laid off little bit after that. And I was like, so now what the heck am I going to do? Like, seriously, I'm going to be here with my baby 24/7. And that was actually hard to swallow, because in my mind, I thought that I would be a working mom, like pretty much as soon as he was born. And it didn't happen that way. And I got down on myself. And then my mom told me, like, hey, I was laid off about the same age as August. I was laid off when you were the same age as August. And it actually was a blessing in disguise, because I got to spend so much time with you and see all of your milestones and see you grow. And, I know it's hard, but think of it that way. And with that mindset shift, it really became a blessing to be able to be there with him, and for us to kind of grow this bond that's unbreakable, that will be unbreakable. And in the midst of that, though, I got really, you know, buried, honestly, with being a mother and being his sole provider until his dad came home. And for the first few months of doing that, I I completely lost myself. I completely was just like, August, August, August. What does he need? What does he need? I'm barely sleeping. I can't sleep anymore. I mean, sleep is like not even a thing. Like, I sleep, but I'm listening for every sound, every breath, every turn, you waking up. And it's nothing you can shut off. And so I had to learn slowly but surely, with the help of Ian, my partner, to, hey, you have to take time for yourself. You can't just go, 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 go. Being a mom 24/7, you're going to burn yourself out. You are burning yourself out. And I was like, you are absolutely right. The only thing is, though, I have no idea how to do that. Like, I don't know how to stop doing what I'm doing, because he's he's my whole world, to be honest. Like, he really is. And I knew it would be like this, but I didn't realize how hard it would be to step away. And then once I would step away to get my nails done, or me and Ian go out for a little quick date with grandma here watching Augie, um, is when I was like, oh, this is nice. Like, it's nice being outside. It's nice, like, not having to sit in the back seat with him and like make sure he's okay on the car ride. And, I can wear a cute purse, because I don't have to take the diaper bag and have the big purse that has room for everything of all his stuff. He got shoes in my purse right now. Like, it's just nice to be able to, put on lipstick and have my hair down, because he's not going to be pulling on me and, touching my face and stuff. So I started to see, like, oh, okay, I do feel better when I come back. I'm not going to freak out because he's not in front of my face, or I'm not in the house with him 24/7. So it's definitely been, I feel like, crawling out of quicksand, like trying to crawl out of quicksand to get myself back. Starting enrolling in classes and things like that, to really just get back into what I enjoy, what I'm passionate about, what excites me. And making sure I'm taking care of myself, making sure I'm taking care of my body, grooming, exercising, all of these things that used to feel, like a juggle. You're juggling life, but having a baby, it's like, how am I supposed to do anything else? Like, how am I supposed to compartmentalize and really not obsess over him? So it's been a journey. I'm not fully there yet. I'm not fully locked in on taking care of myself 100%, but I'm getting back there. And honestly, without the help of, my village, I don't know if I would have, when I would have been able to do this. And so the last like 3 or 4 months has definitely been a journey of just getting back to me. So pray for me, y'all. I'm working on it. I'm working on
Definitely,
it.
definitely.
Well,
And what
always,
I
but
want to
that's
say, I wanted to say about, as Melody was speaking, I'll tell on her.
Mhm.
You have to take care of yourself. Both of you
Mhm.
have to take care of yourself, and I'll tell you why. They're only our babies for a little while, and they weren't given to you to keep them forever.
Right.
Um, they grow up and then they get their own families. And like Ian, he grew up, and I was there just a couple of days ago, and I'm looking at August, and August stretched. He was sleeping and he crossed his legs. I said, look at this little person that Ian made.
I know,
And
right?
that's what I just keep saying. And this is the part I'm telling on you, Miss Melanie. Melanie had this picture in her mind of how it was going to be with August, and on the feeding part, she has started him with baby weaned foods. So August sits in his high chair and he doesn't want anything pureed.
No.
She thought she was going to be able to take him from the bottle to the little jars. No, no, not jars, because she's making his food.
Yeah, I was going.
Pureeing food.
Oh,
And
yeah.
her son does not like anything pureed, and he does not want her to put food in his mouth. He
Nope.
wants to put it in his mouth. And she's saying, I wasn't ready for that. I'm not ready for that. And I say, girl, you blinked and he moved on.
Yep.
He's not a baby. So then I noticed August is cruising the furniture at 8 months. I said, he's already cruising the furniture. Holding on and cruising. Don't be crying over there now. Cruising the furniture. And then I said, Melanie, he is going to be walking in another month because he's no longer holding on to the furniture. He's just lightly laying one hand and he's walking. And then I'm sitting there, and the little brother walks across the room diagonally with his arms up, trying to balance, and he takes four steps. And I said, "Oh my gosh,
It's done. That's it.
he's walking."
That was fast.
They do not
Too
stay
fast.
babies forever. And
No.
when they grow up and they move out, then you look at yourself and you look at your partner and you say, who am I? Who are you? But you got to take care of yourself now and take care of your partner and be on those dates and be in love.
Mhm.
Keep that connection because though he's a little person and he's only here with you in this stage, and then he moves on and he becomes very independent
Yep. He
because
already
I have
is.
seen August will go,
Yep. He's
can't
already
say
shaking his
no, but
head.
he shakes that head. When he's drinking his bottle and he doesn't want anymore, he goes like that. He is already becoming very independent.
Yes.
And when your whole world is this baby, and then the baby is so independent and doing stuff on their own because you got to let them grow and learn.
Mm-hmm.
You've lost yourself. You stay in that quicksand, but you got to
Yeah.
get out of it.
Yeah.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Preach
It
that
is,
sermon,
yeah,
didn't I?
it is one thing that
Amen. Pass the collection, please.
Absolutely.
it is one thing that I admire. I really admire about Renita and her husband Trayvon, because I follow both of them on social media, and it's one thing that they do. Me and my husband and I, we have date night. We have date night every Friday, but it's something that I picked up from Renita and her husband Trayvon is they do alphabet date night. Like they have a letter of the alphabet, and then that alphabet is what they decide what they're going to do for their date night. So
Okay.
whatever the letter is, they find something to do in that letter to enjoy each other on their date night. So I stole that
That's
from
so
them.
cute.
I just
That's a
told,
good
but so
idea.
whatever the letter is, they just find something to do. So if it's going to be an M, they're going to do a movie. If it's going to be a D, they're going to probably do, Disney or something downtown. I don't remember all the alphabet letters now, but it's always related to an alphabet. So to me, their date nights are never boring. So
Oh,
that
that's
when you
good.
guys were talking, because you mentioned date night and so did she, it was more of so that you guys are doing those things that you love to do before. And you're still enjoying who you are as husband and wife and who you are as mothers. And that's the greatest thing that women can do because that's how you always stay true to who you are. Because many times when new babies come around, husbands feel left out because everything shifts to baby. But when you
Mhm.
have a good husband and a good person that is helping you to raise and support you in this, both of you share the load. So my heart is full for both of you. This episode was truly lovely for all new mothers that are out there and mothers to be. You two ladies gave some great advice to help new mothers. No matter which way they're going, it's still the same thing. God gives us children for a reason, and I believe He gives them to us because we're able to handle whatever that
Yeah.
is to come.
Amen.
And that's why God blesses women to be mothers. And I
Mhm.
always tell people, whether you on Mother's Day, I always make the announcement on church when I preach on Mother's Day. I don't care if you're an auntie mama, a cousin mama, a sister mama, a grandmama mama, whatever type of mama. You are mother because you are caring for someone, either your own or someone else's. Because
Mhm.
many, sadly, some mothers don't even survive childbirth.
Right.
One of my friends just lost her daughter, dealing with this. So it's really true that when you really take on that motherhood role and you take it on with I am doing this no matter what. I got this, and we're going to
Mhm.
get through this from now till they're 999, or you get the dirt thrown on you. Because my kids are 37 and 34, and I'm that
Mhm.
same mama bear I was when they were born, and I'm going to stay that
Mhm.
same mama bear till they throw dirt on me, because that's just who we are as mothers. We are nurturers, we're compassion, we're caring, we're loving, we're gentle, we're kind. And if my kids call me right now and say, I need you, I got gas in the car, I'm out. It's just how it's gonna always be.
That's
So motherhood never ends. Never.
no.
And both of you have mothers, so you already know your mothers are the same way about you.
Yeah.
Motherhood never ends.
That's a lot.
So, do you ladies have anything else before we get ready to end this episode? Either one.
Hmm.
No?
Uh,
Um,
I just, I think at the end of the day, being an adoptive mom, my experience looked just like everybody, like every other mom. A lot of people think that it may be different in some way, but I'm still negotiating all of the things that a biological mom would. I'm still sitting on toys. I'm still looking around my house, thinking like one tiny human needs this many things. We go on vacation and it's like one bag for me, one bag for him, and then six other things for one person.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So motherhood has just taught me a lot about myself. I've learned so much about myself in the last 6 months than I'd probably have in my entire life. But mainly that I'm not in as much control as I thought I was.
That part. That part. They remind you every day.
Yes, I thought I had it all together, and I'm gonna do it this way, and this is how it's gonna be. I had my plan too, like this is how it's gonna be, and I feel like my mom is laughing at me sometimes, because she's like, okay,
Yep.
we'll see how long that goes. So, mainly just, relax and find peace and just be present and just love on your children the most that you possibly can. The most important part is just the bond, that you build over time,
Mhm.
and you'll never really get these precious moments again. And so just really living in the moment and not being too hard on yourself about the things that you're not able to do. Maybe your house is not the cleanest that it always used to be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're like me and I'm always frustrated by how I am always late. so,
That
so
part.
I can't be on time to save my life.
Yep.
But at the same time, I'm giving myself a lot of grace. And so I would definitely give that as a piece of advice is, offer yourself a lot of grace in the things that you're doing as you journey into being a mother.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Um, I would say just really quick to let go as much as possible of the fear of the unknown, because once they will you in that room, and or then they hand you that baby, wherever they handing you the baby, they leave and they don't, they were like, there you go, that's you. And that's it, and you have to figure it out. And it's just amazing to know that I get to figure out life with this little person and with his dad and us as a family, and just being able to just relax into love, relax into the fact that he's safe. We're here together. We're all safe. We're all good. Everything's good. He may be crying because we took something that he wasn't supposed to have, and he's freaking out, or he's teething, and we don't know what to do. But at the end of the day, the amount of love that flows through us all, it's just like this exchange of love back and forth. It's so beautiful and so pure. And to just know that all the books, all the videos, all the talks that people give you about what you should know or don't do this, some is important, but a lot of it is intuitive. A lot of it is, just listening to that voice in your head, that mom voice in your head, and leaning into the fact that you know best, and your job is to keep him safe, to keep him loved, to keep him fed, clean, and that's it. Everything else, you may not have all the gadgets, you may not have the fancy bottle washer, you may not have this and that, you may not be baby weaning him the way you thought. He doesn't want purees, so we going with solid food, and we just rocking it out. And I'm learning all the Heimlichs, and we gonna make sure we cut everything very small or exactly how it's supposed to be. But you can't control it. You can't control everything, and they are their own person, and to really just give them love and give them space to nurture themselves to be who they are supposed to be. And yeah, just love is a beautiful thing, and babies are just a ball of love. And to just know that it is scary because you don't know what's going to happen, but once they're in your arms, you know that you're okay. You know that he's okay, she's okay, and y'all are going to be all right. It's going to be okay. It's going to be beautiful.
That's great. That's great. Yes. And along the journey, the baby will let you know what they need.
Absolutely.
They will let you don't give yourself grace is what excuse me, Renita said. Give yourself grace. Don't be such a slave to schedules.
Mm-hmm.
The baby will let you know what they need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So, anything else, Reverend Yo?
No, I'll close us out when you say your spiel.
As always, we do hope you have enjoyed this episode, and we have given you something else to consider.
Yes, and we would like to thank Mrs. Renita and Mrs. Melanie for joining us tonight in the Elaboration Room with Two Sisters of One. And we always thank you for joining us and being a continued supporter of our channel. We thank you. If you have not yet subscribed, please remember to hit that button and subscribe so you will know when we put up all our new videos. And as always, we want you to be brave, be strong, and be different. Asking, it will be given unto you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened unto you. Believe in yourself and encourage yourself. But in all things, remember, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Once again, thank you, my brothers and sisters, for joining us in the Elaboration Room with Two Sisters of One. Be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The Elaboration Room with Two Sisters of One. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episode every Monday at 6 p.m.